जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम thank you Taimur. Yes, I've been in and out. मैं काफी देर सुन रहा था and I prefer to listen today, frankly. And I think हम सब के sort of views are largely similar. Everyone agrees that the constitution should be upheld. Everyone, to a certain extent, is disappointed by the ECP's decision. Everyone is in agreement that 90 days more or less is a fixed deadline. The Supreme Court has held that. Everyone, I think, agrees that there is no lack of clarity in the Supreme Court judgment. I mean, it does say a minimum deviation, but like we've spoken, the minimum deviation can't possibly be seen as what the ECP has thought. But I think, we've been going sort of in this circular debate, trying to interpret the provisions, what value the Constitution holds. But I think the larger issue is, and I think ye pehle raise bhi hua tha, is that if this goes into the Supreme Court, how will the Supreme Court go about enforcing its own order? Salar spoke about it earlier about that the Supreme Court doesn't have a sword or a purse. Obviously, the executive is expected to implement the Supreme Court order. So then it becomes relevant to think, acha, how will this play out? Will the Supreme Court hold someone in contempt? Or, as usual, what happens, as we all as lawyers know, is that when a lawyer is in front representing his party before any court, there's a certain amount of negotiation that takes place. An explanation about why an order could not be complied with. Some, and I assume over here the ECP and the government will argue some form of impossibility due to the circumstances which they've highlighted in the ECP order. So, yes, the Supreme Court will, I think, be negotiating that. And we also have to then discuss, and I think there's a big elephant in the room, and I would want everyone to bring that to the table. This should be part of our legal discussions. ये हम टीवी टॉक शोज पे देखते हैं, political discussions में बात आती है, but legal debates में I feel that it's people always shy away from it. And that is the role and the influence of the military establishment. I mean, if you look at that ECP order, in large part, or at least I would say the major emphasis is on, the security in the country and how the security agencies or the law enforcement agencies are of the view that there's a big security threat. That's a big factor. What will the Supreme Court do when that is said to them? कि नहीं ये हो ही नहीं सकता. And even if the Supreme Court insists कि नहीं आप ये करवाएं, how will that play out? And why don't we discuss that in legal debates about their influence when it comes to following the Constitution? I mean, that's been part of our history. We have been through military coups. We have lived through dictatorships. In my view, I mean, I don't want to mince my words, but this is nothing less than a soft coup. We spoke about the doctrine of necessity. Who is the one behind it? Yes, the judges legitimized it, but so I really want to throw this out